Okay, so let's put you. I don't know that gentleman's
Uh-oh.
name, but I'm not gonna use him. Well, I'd like to use you, and your house just burnt down today. So, how do you? How, the way I was understanding you is he was supposed to observe his pain about that.
You know, the Dalai Lama said that if you have a problem and you have a solution, then you have no problem, right? And he said he said if you have a problem and you don't have a solution, well then you still don't have a problem. My house burnt down. It's in the past. There's only one thing to do. Start sweeping up. That's it. I mean, there might be emotions in me about that. There might be fears and insecurity and uncertainty. But that's not going to drive my bus. You know?
Okay.
When I say that I would be unaffected by that, I really want to be clear that that kind of stuff will be inside me. Okay? I don't want to set you up to think that that stuff shouldn't be there. Okay? Because then you're going to have a false idea of what your practice is supposed to be, and you think, oh, my practice doesn't work because I'm still feeling this stuff. No. I'd be feeling that stuff, sweeping up the mess. You know? Being present to it. And you know what the first thing that would go through my mind is? After, why does God hate me? The second thing is, what is the opportunity here? What is the opportunity here? What is the universe trying to get me to see that I can't see? Where is the universe leading me? You know, the whole Peaceful Mind Center, the way we got to the Duncan Center. You want to laugh? Here's a real life story. Some of you were around back then, right? Remember this? We had this beautiful, outside Murakami. If you make a left before you go up the hill to the museum, there's some woods back there, and there was a beautiful gazebo. I mean, easily the size of this room, probably bigger, you know? And we used to have satsang there on Saturday morning, out in the woods. It was really beautiful, you know? And it was free, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. And I come there one time, and they got it all roped off because it's listing a little bit this way. And I always knew it was doing that. But there were no gussets. I used to be a carpenter, right? Well, I'm still a carpenter, but you know, there were no gussets to hold it straight. It was easy, $5,000 in material, just that gazebo. It had a full, you know, shingled roof over the top. And all they had to do was take a machine, you know, like a front end loader, push it straight, tie gussets in, and it would have been fine. They knocked it down and scrapped it. And I called them and I begged them not to do it. And they just did it. I explained everything, what they needed to do. They just didn't want to deal with it. I'm thinking, all right, what now? So we fumbled around a little bit, and we ended up at Las Ventanas. And so we went, because one of the things about having satsang out in the woods like that was we had a men's room, but we didn't have a ladies' room. And so, you know, it was, and when it was hot, you know, and there were drawbacks. It's sometimes tough to be consistent. You know, sometimes other people would come and want to use it, so we would be off to the side sitting in the woods. And so then we end up at Las Ventanas. Now, Las Ventanas had a beautiful, beautiful clubhouse that we got to use, and it was just gorgeous. You know, beautiful, huge movie room. I made a big banner of a Bodhi tree that I would sit under. It was like really cool. And then we were there for a while, right? And then somebody comes along and buys the whole apartment complex. And I sat and talked with them about the program, and they were just completely unconscious. They had no idea what I was talking about. And I knew that was over, you know? Now what? You know, long story short, I get in a conversation with the Duncan Center, and they were wonderful to me. And the energy here is really good. And I'd always wanted a place like this that was a conference center. That, and, we can do our fireside satsangs out in the back and all this other. And it was like everything. And they've been very reasonable. I have a wonderful relationship with them. And here we are now at the Duncan Conference Center. And if any of you were around Las Ventanas, at that point I had a real clear understanding that everything was opportunity. I wasn't upset about it. I'm like, we're going to find a place. Something is going to come. The universe is trying to move us somewhere. And here we are. And at Las Ventanas, remember we had that big, actually this stage is built out of the wood from that, or at least part of it anyway. And I made a cart because there was no place to store anything. So I made a cart that was like 6 feet long, 4 feet wide, 3 feet high, put wheels on it, and we had to pack everything up, wheel it into the other building afterward. It was just like, wow. So, for me, one of the most freeing realizations that you will ever have in your life is that life is bound to impermanence and change. It is always changing. We're literally not the same people that walked in the door a few hours ago. And so when you see that clearly and change comes, you just embrace change. You just roll with change. You just go with change. And whatever happens, happens. And you're just kind of surfing it like a wave. And so, being in my practice for so long, seeing that so clearly, these changes that were happening, I was looking for the opportunities in all of them. And, sometimes the opportunity doesn't come till the 11th hour, But they're just, I don't know, there just seem to be a gift in every experience. No matter how bad, no matter how good, it just came with armfuls of gifts. We're here and we're just experiencing. We are experiencing. Okay? It's the ego that wants to say this is a good experience and this is a bad experience. You got to kick that ego out. It's just experiencing. That's all it is. It's just experiencing. And in the end, we're all going to the same place.